Hello, while I wait for my boat to be built, I thought I'd just walk around Bristol Harbour and show you what it's like. I'm going to walk from here at Castle Park in Bristol down to Clifton Suspension Bridge. You'll come in, generally 99% of you will come in down this way, which is leading up to Bristol Templemeads railway station, and we've got pubs and bars all the way along the harbour side. So here we are at Bristol Castle Park. If you look down, here is the ferry. The ferry goes from Bristol Templemeads. It will take you all the way through the harbourside shops and bars and all the way down to the very end of the floating harbourside. So this is Bristol Bridge, and it continues to the harbourside this direction. And then if you walk up to here, you can see an archway in the buildings, and that will take you into St Nick's Market, where they do the most fantastic food. Point of interest is this lovely church here. If you look really closely at the brickwork, you can still see the remnants of the shrapnel where it hit in World War II. So Bristol Harbourside. Oh, look at the boat, it's called Massive Attack. How cool is that? I'm going to show you in a minute a pub called the Thekla, which is actually a music venue, boat, and people like Massive Attack, Tricky, Portishead have all played there. Yeah, I'll show you that in a sec. But it's lovely, what a beautiful day. As you can see, Bristol's absolutely buzzing on a sunny day like today. Behind us we have some amazing pubs, the Old Duke, which does loads of jazz music, and opposite that is the Landogger Trow, which was inspiration for Treasure Island. So this pub here is the Old Duke, which is the jazz central pub. Over here on the left is the Landogger Trow, which is a really historical, amazing pub. And then further down, right in the distance, is the Bristol Ovic, which is a lovely ye olde theatre. So here we're looking at some of the area of Bristol Harbourside with some really fancy, very expensive posh houses. You look over in the distance, there's a building on the other side, and just to the right there's a little, looks like a little doorway. It's actually the entrance to Redcliffe Caves, and they used to store goods, prisoners and everything to do with smuggling in the caves under there. There's lots of boats around here, and the lovely Ostrich pub is opposite us, and down that entrance there is Bathurst Basin, which is known as the quiet corner for Bristol Harbourside. It's residential moorings, but there's showers and toilets down there. I think there might be an Nelson Point. Yeah, there is an Nelson Point down there as well. So this is where the moorings start for the harbour side for residential boats. Again, that's a different angle of the Ostrich pub down to Bathurst Basin, the quiet corner, and then more moored up boats, residential again. Thing to know about Bristol Harbourside is that it is not CRT, it's owned by Bristol City Council, and you need to have pre-bookings to stay here. If you don't have a pre-booking, it's really expensive, so just be warned. You can get an app where you can book your space. I'll show you where the moorings are in a moment. When you come in down here, you can go under that bridge there without it being lifted. Hang on, there, that's better. So you can go into there, but when the water's high in the harbour side, it's quite tight, so you might have to duck down if you're particularly tall. That's a ferry pickup point. That's my glamorous assistant again. And then here is the Mud Dock, which is a really good place for a good breakfast. It's a cafe, restaurant, you can see all the people sat on the top. The two buildings here, I'll try and lift you up a bit. The two buildings, hang on, there are not CRT buildings, they are toilets and showers for boaters, and I believe that there is a pump out point somewhere along here. I think everybody heard them.
I think we know you're there.
This is a really popular area of Bristol where you've got the M Shed, which is the Bristol Museum. There's a few Banksy bits and bobs in there, and then the Matthew, which is the replica ship of John Cabot that went to America, and then Whooping Wharf, which is a really lovely food centre. They do great different sorts of foods. Just tucked in around the side over here. Expensive yacht with a pretend helicopter sat on the top of it. And then along here, it's very popular for skateboarding. It used to be Lloyd's Bank headquarters, and then moored up boats along here with visitor moorings around the corner just here, and the Arnold Feeney Art Centre. There are, I think there's showers along here, although they might be just behind us where I showed you just now. here behind me is the River Avon. As you can see, it's tidal, so it runs parallel with the Bristol Harbourside, which means that you can take boats up and down it. I'm just going to take you over to the other side, which is towards the Clifton Suspension Bridge. There we go, lovely. So yeah, in a previous clip I showed you the low bridge from the other side, and then some boaters' showers over there. Next to that, on off you sign to the right, and then there are the Narrowboat moorings just there. And then there's restaurants down the left side, but just beyond that there's a lovely cinema called the Watershed that's an independent cinema worth visiting if you like your independent films. So you can bring your boat in more up here, come up the stairs, and there in that red brick building is the Elson Point, and on the other side of the Elson Point is the buttery where they sell chips. So if you're a chip lover, that's the place for you. Toot toot! This is it. Lovely. This is a really busy day at Bristol Harbour, and as you can see, it isn't actually that busy. And then we have the obligatory Rosie and Jim in the boat window, which is the law. Beautiful day. We are moored up opposite the other visitor moorings here from the inlet. There's a lovely little cafe over there. It's really nice. It used to be derelict back in my childhood of the 80s. And then we've got some little Tory boats, and you can book them. Just the SS Great Britain is just here. I'm going to take you down there in a moment. And then just here on the left is the ticket office for little trips. Look at this. Look at this. This is the SS Great Britain, and some beautiful houses. And then over here are the moorings I just told you about, the inlet moorings, which are beautiful. And then up the hill is Cabot Tower. If you have the energy, you can climb to the top of that and you can see Bristol for miles. If you don't have the energy, on the water there are little boats to take you round. This is the Bristol Dry Dock, so if you fancy blacking the bottom of your boat, this is a place to do it. Okay, so this is Bristol Marina, official Bristol Marina. So yeah, here's Bristol Marina, and then coming up Harbourside, little touristy ferry. They operate nearly every day of the year. They operate in the mornings as well for commuters to get from Bristol Templemead Station right the way up to this end of the harbour, and this is the far end near the lock that takes you out onto the Avon. Here we have Bristol Harbourside in all its beautiful glory. It is stunning down here on a day like this. Most days it's beautiful anyway, but yeah, really lovely. Across the water there's a pub called the Pump House, and they do the most amazing food. Coming around, you've got sailing clubs around here, and then little venues, and the boatyard, building boats is here. Wonderful yard, beautiful, but got burnt out last, oh my god, I was going to say last year, but it wasn't, definitely wasn't last year. It was a long time before that. And then the Harbour Master's office is here. Oh, I tell you what you can see, just in the distance here, look really carefully, just here is the tip top of the Clifton Suspension Bridge. just a quick side quest here. If you're thinking of buying a narrowboat, I've got a guide that covers all the costs involved. It's super affordable and costs less than £5. You can find a link in my YouTube bio or in the description for this vlog. It's definitely worth a look. And if you're enjoying this vlog, then please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to follow. Your support means the world to me. Thank you very much.